All right, all. We're going to look at some concepts as we head into the session for tonight, looking a little bit more at the creation phase, so that part where we're looking to penetrate and score goals. Quick image, so looking at Augsburg's 4-3-3 turns into more of a 4-1-4-1 when they don't have the ball. So first thing we're look at is it's understanding where the space is. So if we get defenders to step out, how do we get runners and movement in behind that defender? So as the example is here, center back plays out to the wing back, their outside back starts to step, which then leaves that space. So that's our target. If we're looking at areas that we want to attack, that's the space. We get the movement in behind, and then that sparks that whole process of getting in line. 9 gets to the front post, and we flood the system. So watch, goes wide, in, boom, she slides in behind, and now we're driving. The 9 prepares for the front post, and then we're in that space. So here is an example of it against Stevens Point. So this is from the kickoff. As we win the ball back, we circulate it. It's good to play through to play back out again. And then as you see it, their outside back steps to tally. Maya runs in behind her, and then we're off in behind. So I know it's a tough ask for Anna to get to the front post, but then Kaylee can peel off under the penalty spot, and then Karen has the back post. So again, if you guys watch that again, obviously this piece is really good. How quickly we settle the ball after winning it back. We're building and playing, but really look at that movement. And this is something that we have to collectively recognize. So as soon as we get that player to jump out, so jump means to press, so she jumps out as the outside back. She goes to the ball. Where's the space to attack? It's Maya down the line, and we're off. Okay, another example is, obviously we do a lot in the width, but it can also be done through the striker. So the ball is circulated. Let's say this is Lee. Their player steps from the midfield to squeeze it. Now there's that gap to play into the 9. So the 9 has their center back tied on their back, which then leaves again space in behind them to attack. So the 9 is able to find the 8. 8 is facing forward. Now there's that space to attack. That's when we can get that movement in behind. So in this case, it would be that left-sided winger, Kaylee, Sydney, anybody playing in that space. And then obviously we want to see the goal. So as you look at it again, as it circulates, our center back gets the ball, their center mid comes out, and there's that window to penetrate. We know they're going to press R from behind, which leaves that space in behind. Set it, run in behind, and we finish. Okay, couple pictures and videos from the Whitman game to reference. Here's a kind of a similar example. We got our striker checking back, their left center back is followed, boom, creates that space in behind. And even in this case, their left back is still high, worried about Maya. So look at all that space we have to get in behind. So this is, I think, as we talk about this, Kaylee has the freedom to then make that run diagonal in behind. The front 3 players can be very fluid. Worry less about positions. The reason why we can let those front 3 be more fluid is we have permanent width in Tally and Karen and Ansley and whoever else plays the wing back gives us that permanent width. So you can have more fluidity. Another image here, boom, we win it again with good shape. And you can see that space we want to attack. So watch it again. Start to look to see the positioning of our players. So now we get Karen running forward. Their outside back is kind of stranded, and you see those windows to penetrate. So as we look at this, Karen's now facing forward. Their left back, I like to say, is on an island. She's not really defending anyone. She's not going to affect Karen. She can't stop Sydney. So immediately we want Sydney to run into that space off her back. Now what this is going to do, if Sydney makes that run in behind, it will pull their right-sided center back, and she will go with her, which then leaves Denise 1v1. So again, maybe the center back stays, Sydney runs free, we play Sydney. If the center back follows Sydney into that space, then we want Denise in the middle part of the field going 1v1. And then on the backside, I think it's important to see the positioning. We want that player on the backside, be it Maya, be it Jamie, whoever's in that role, to be more centralized and be in between the center back and the outside back. We want you to occupy those 4 players. So if that player slides into that space, their left center back now has to worry about that run in behind her, which then makes it tougher and tougher for her to track Denise's movement. So it's flooding that space for them to play. And then finally, this image, I think it's important as we look at kind of like some of our positioning. We have 5 players across their back line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as I've highlighted, we still have our left center back, Emily Hillis has slid back to protect for Ty, and Emily Holtzman is still there as a holding mid. So we still have a good structure behind the ball to protect it. Now, again, as we talked about, where's the gaps? Right now, Whitman's focus is on the ball side. Their eyes are all looking at Ty and where the ball is. So can we get movements off their back and in behind them? And that's that space. You can even start to see that I believe she's a holding midfield player who's on Sydney, is starting to step out towards Ty, which leaves a gap in behind him. Their back four is stretched out really far with big windows. So this would be an example of how do we get into that. So today we'll look a little bit about some of those patterns and knowing when we pull a defender out and we get in behind. But obviously, girls, we've started to get ourselves in some really good places. We just haven't collectively recognized them yet. See you guys tonight.